Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of To The Point podcast. Everybody's doing well on this Thursday, and it's Thursday night football night. Basketball's in full bloom. We got hockey, and it's only fitting that with the NBA, with the Blazers losing last night, that I have my good buddy, the founder, the president of Sports Make Moolah,
The CEO,
CEO,
the general
whatever you want to call him.
manager,
Yeah,
the video manager. Actually, I guess nobody wants to be a video manager right now.
no, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, he's here again. My good friend Harrison Schuttenbeld. Harry, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I mean, I was watching every game on the planet for the last 2 weeks, and then the free previews left, and now I'm stuck with Raptors. I'm stuck with the Habs. No offense, they're fucking garbage right now, and I have to watch the Leafs. And Matthews only plays 20 minutes of the game, so the other 40 minutes, I'm stuck just drifting off on my phone.
You could argue he only plays for 4 because the other 20 you really don't see him.
I mean, he doesn't back check either, but that's for another day. No. I haven't seen much two-way playing from Matthews. He was good last year, but I mean, I know it's start of the season.
It's hard to do it two years in a row. It's hard to be consistent.
Yeah, tell that to Sean Couturier.
Yeah. No, so do you have a resolution to this problem, or how do you what do you plan on trying to do?
I don't know if I'm going to get a Hulu account because I think that's where NHL is residing.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN is side to Hulu, correct?
Yeah, you can do. I know Sportsnet Plus. You don't get every game, but I know you get a lot of out-of-market games. So you can watch, a Minnesota or whoever, Dallas, whatever game you want to watch that particular night. For hockey, NBA is more tricky because we don't get ESPN Plus in Canada, which is stupid. But yeah, you basically have to buy Game Pass for NBA.
Yeah,
or wait until you get TNT and ESPN nights.
And I mean, gambling's going well. So can I drop a couple bucks on the league pass? Absolutely. But holy smokes, there's got to be a better way than this. I don't understand how the streaming corps are monopolizing this, but I feel like even 2-3 years ago, we had a lot more available games on TV.
Mm-hmm.
All we get's Raptors, all we get's Canadian, and I mean, Boston games will be on too, because we're right next door. But other than that, if you want to watch, Blazers games aren't going to be on TV unless they're playing the Lakers late night. It's just a joke. You have to resort to paying an extra $60 out of your wallet, and adds up every month if, James Harden doesn't get 3 threes when you need him to.
Right. Yeah. It's a gamble, but you are a gambler. So you're betting on your betting going well so that you can pay for League Pass. And if it doesn't, then you're kind of up Schitt's Creek without a paddle.
60 less bucks to put on the Atlanta Hawks.
Did you bet on the Hawks last night?
Yes, I did. That was a tight game. I had a cow go down when the Pelicans were up 99-98, and I ran to the barn, and I ended up being in the barn for about 60 minutes, and I was covered in shit, so I couldn't even check my phone. So just add that to the list of nights you want to pull your hair out.
Right. Yeah.
Pulled out with a win, though.
Yeah. So I thought we'd start today. We're talking a lot of NBA. You got the Ben Simmons jersey behind you. A lot's developed over the last couple weeks.
I gotta switch jerseys. You always start with Mr. Ben.
Yeah,
you're gonna switch the jerseys.
He's always in the news. The guy just doesn't shut up. He's started off. People don't know he wasn't reporting to training camp. He was never going to be a Sixer again, and then he showed up without telling them. He got his COVID protocol, passed that. Great. Then he goes to practice, got his full, I don't know what kind of outfit that. I've never seen people practice in Ricky pants, but he had those on.
I mean, the boys at the base gym, maybe.
Maybe at the base gym. Maybe Johnny Penny at the base gym has those on. But he's got his phone in his pocket, so he gets fined and suspended. And Now I guess he's practicing, but he's not in a psychological state to play, which you interpret that what you will, scared to go to the free throw line. But what do you make of this whole situation and then the start to the Sixers season?
Well, the Sixers are a disappointment as of right now. The process seems like it's never going to come. It like having your phone on in practice, like there's the picture where it's hanging out of his pocket, so you can literally see the screen on, like he's texting mid drill. I mean, it's not high school basketball. You're in the NBA, buddy.
It's
like
professional. This is
like you got 2 hours of practice with the fellas, like to get back out there to get in season shape. Do I like? Does it help his trade value? Absolutely not. But if Philly gets desperate enough where they give him away, I do believe that whatever team gets him is going to be a winner. And I can see it being the Warriors. I can see it being the Hawks. And I do think Ben Simmons is a winner. And I think Philly's just a tough place to play for. Do I like the mental health cop-out? I think that kind of fucks other people that are actually dealing with mental health issues. No offense to Ben if he is going through it. But,
right.
I mean, just the timing of him bringing it up, it seems like, why wouldn't you start with that like prior to the season, right? It was like his sixth excuse. Like it seems like that takes away from actual stigma. That's resounding the issue forever.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think we see a lot of people do this now, right when they're about to perform and like, oh, I got this issue. Well, where was it? The other, so I completely agree. But the Warriors intrigue me. If he would go to Golden State, because I think he's better than Draymond Green is, right? I still think Draymond Green's a good player, but I think Ben Simmons would be an upgrade over.
I don't think
Draymond
that would
Green.
be the trade. I think they get rid of Wiggins for him. Wiggins and first round pick.
On the Warriors, I have no problem doing that. Push him out the door like with one of your cows. Just like
Wiggins,
get the hell out of here.
Wiggins, 1 second coming up the floor, he looks like he's Michael Jordan, and then the next time he goes up the floor, it looks like he's playing for the Shanghai Sharks. Like it's a complete it's a toss up every time.
Yeah, but
I can see that trade.
If Simmons could play power forward for the Warriors, and you have Clay and Poole and Thompson, like he wouldn't have to be the point guard, have to shoot.
Clay, Poole, Curry.
Just
yeah.
Just be the power forward and still get assists in the paint, that he does already.
And just defense, as you say, like you have Draymond, you have Clay, you have Ben Simmons, and you've seen what Curry's already doing this year. He's early lead for MVP, I would say. But I mean, we're 6 fucking games in, so who cares? But I mean, it's Steph Curry's back to doing Steph Curry things. The NBA is probably this is the funnest year I think it started out to be. There's a lot of there's not as much disparity in between teams.
Right.
So it seems like everybody's putting out a fight. Like the Cavs fucking shit on the Clippers last night.
Yeah.
The Cavs +8 took them on the money line. Sports Mike Moolah, Instagram, Twitter. Colin Sexton. What's the last time I was on the pod? I was giving the Cavs some juju.
Yeah, you did. You like the Cavs.
So we got the 3 towers in there, and Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, and Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
Lauri Markkanen freaking pulled some white on white massacre.
He'll pull a groin next
other
week.
night. Oh yeah, it'll be out. But
I see your point. Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed the season so far. I mean, normally NBA, it's kind of I enjoy it, but you're right. Like when the Warriors had KD, like that season, I'm like, why am I even watching this? I know he's going to win.
Yeah. And this year, like watching that, like we watched the Nets drop one to the Heat last night. They're going to be different when Kyrie's in the lineup. But like just the Lakers blew a 26-point lead to OKC. Shai Gilgeous, my boy, Lou Dort, let's go, boys. It's just like the disparity in between teams at the start of the season so far. And when it's so important to not get behind when you're like the Detroit Pistons, like you can count guys like teams like that out. But I mean, it just seems like it's a much more level playing field this year.
Yeah, no,
as opposed to others.
Yeah, no, I like that point. Evan Mobley is gonna be a player. He's the real deal.
Yep.
But yeah, you're right.
100%.
Other than like Houston and Detroit, who went 1-2 in the draft, so no big shock there that the teams stink. But I agree with you. It's good to see. I mean, you see one night where the Celtics lose to the Raptors, and then Monday night they played Charlotte, and I watched a lot of that game. That was a really, went to overtime.
Really great game.
Really great game. And Charlotte's good, man. I think Charlotte's
good.
Charlotte's really good. I like Charlotte. Yeah.
They're resting Terry Rozier off the start. So games that they need Terry, they'll play him. Games that they don't need him, they'll let LaMelo go out, get 10 assists, have fun. Pad the highlight reels. I mean, the announcer in Charlotte's gonna have a heart attack by the 50th game this year. He's been going crazy with all the lobs to Michael Bridges. But yeah, the Hornets are definitely a surprise in the East this year. And I wouldn't call it a surprise because we seen it at the end of last year when LaMelo got called up. But yeah, that arena, and like it seems like the fans are buying in. I'm sure Michael Jordan's putting a couple bucks into the Hornets. Like I see them in the playoffs for sure this year if they keep this up.
Yeah,
Terry doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, looking at the East as a whole, who are the really elite teams in the East for you? I think it's hard to really pick out who are the elite teams. A lot of teams are close.
Heat, Nets, Hawks, probably top 3. I think the Sixers. Once the Sixers come into play, I think they can get up there. I think the best teams in the East. I think it's without question Heat, Nets, and the Hawks. Whether like the order in which they'll end 1, 2, 3, I'm not sure, but I do believe those will be the top 3 teams by the end of the season.
What about the Bucks?
Hopped on a podcast and forgot about my friend Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
They did lose to the T-Wolves last night, but yeah,
everybody that was supposed to win last night lost.
So those are my top 4: Bucks, Heat, Hawks, and Nets. And really, yeah, I would say, barring injury to Giannis, the Bucks should be in the top 2 of those.
Yeah, I mean they look good. Obviously, they like you said, they lost to the T-Wolves last night, but that's gonna happen. But
Grayson Allen looks really good.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
So if the Sixers have Ben Simmons and say he doesn't come back this year, and maybe they can't work out a trade because they think they're going to get something they don't. How far do they go with just Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Tobias? With the team that they have now, are they a threat in the East?
Oh, they're a threat because Joel Embiid's on the team. And thinking of it right now, aside from Giannis, nobody can guard Joel in the East.
Unless you're the Knicks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Knicks. And then what's his name?
He had a rough night against the Knicks. He only took 7 shots.
Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
I glanced over the Knicks and the Bucks at the same time. We got to hit ourselves with a little restart here.
No,
adding the Knicks. Those are the top 5 teams.
Yeah.
Adding the Knicks.
Yeah. The Sixers, I don't think they could win a title with just Embiid because they don't have really a second guy that I like. Tobias Harris is so hot and cold. Like he'll put up 40 and the next night he'll put up 5, which it's the worst kind of player for me because I like consistency.
It's like Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. I wonder if the Blazers struggle, and we hear all the time that Dame's committed to Portland, loves Chauncey Billups.
Why are you doing this to me?
But maybe it's not Dame. Maybe it's CJ that goes the other way. That might be good for both teams.
It's another process situation for Portland. I want to see it play out. We got Cody Zeller, so I really don't understand what to say to combat your points right now because, I mean, we're 5 games in the season, so I'm not trying to trade the farm.
Right.
I want Dame. I want CJ. I want to see how this little process works out. I mean, Larry Nance is only getting a couple minutes a night. We'll see how they look by 40 games, and you'll get a better feel for. And there will be a lot more articles surrounding the team and whether or not Dame's going to leave, whether or not CJ is going to leave. Nurkic looks better this year. He really let us down in the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It's a Western Conference final. Like I'll call this right now. It's a Warriors Blazers Western Conference final. Just like
What?
Oh, you're giving me that look? What?
With the teams,
Okay.
are the Blazers, do they add anyone?
I think that the Blazers could make the WCF with their team.
With their current roster?
Yeah.
Oh, they'll lose in the first round.
If the Suns beat the Jazz, then they don't need to go through Rudy. And I think the Jazz would be the only like first round team that could really stuff them up.
I think the Nuggets can. They beat them last year.
Yeah, but it's the Heat. Like, you don't think the Blazers remember that, Juggy? You don't think they remember that?
I don't think it's going to matter because Nikola Jokic will just say, "Hey, Nurkic, get away from me. You suck. You can't guard me."
Well, we'll see. And they'll have Jamal Murray back too, so it'll be even more lopsided event. But
okay. Well, we'll go. We're gonna bounce all around because that's just funner this way. Okay, if the Blazers in the Western Conference Final against the Golden State Warriors, that would mean that the LA Lakers are not. So we've seen the last two nights LeBron couldn't play. Westbrook has his two best games of the season. No surprise here.
Quadruple double.
I mean
10 turnovers.
Yeah. I really doubt that these three can do it together. Like, and I mean, play together is one thing. Win a championship, which is the only goal of this team, is another thing. Again, it's really early, but I watched opening night. Westbrook looked like, that kid who has no friends is just standing there at the edge of the road. Like, can I come play ball hockey? Like he was just standing like, and I feel like that's going to be the case a lot of nights where it's LeBron and AD and he knows he's the third best player and he's never been in that position before.
Yep. I agree. I think Frank Vogel's gone by the 30th game of the season. I think once that happens, there might be a change. I can't count out LeBron James. I don't think anybody ever can count out LeBron James.
No,
I don't like the Lakers as a team. I just don't like the Lakers. It's just, I've never liked the Lakers. I've never liked the Celtics. They're just two fan bases that just grind my gears. But to count out LeBron would be crazy to me. Do they look like garbage right now? I mean, holy, just taking it back. They blew a 27-point lead to the Oklahoma City Thunder, man. Thunder. Are you kidding me?
Playoffs.
So I don't know. I really don't know. I think Russ, whenever LeBron's out, if you want to prop Russ assists when LeBron's out, that should be cash every time. Right. I don't think they have enough support off the bench. They had guys, they gave them all away. Like, you can't just Taylor Horton Tucker, like, you can't come out and do it all. Like, they got nobody. They got their top three, and they got it definitely looks bleak, but everybody's going to go to the Lakers at the trade deadline because it's GM Braun.
Right.
So for me to count them out right now would be crazy. Would I like to see them miss the playoffs entirely? I would love to.
Yeah, that'd be something. The West is tough. I think they'll get upset. I think LeBron is too good for that. But if they make the playoffs and they lose in the first round, just say people are gonna look back and say, why didn't you just trade for Buddy Hield? Because I think that was the way better. I think the Lakers are way better with Buddy Hield.
Absolutely.
Who do they have as a 3-point shooter? LeBron. If you're relying on LeBron to be your best 3-point shooter, you are in big trouble.
Well, they're down by They're down by 3 with 5 seconds left last night, and Frank Vogel drew up a play to give it to Russ.
Yeah, who shoots 13%
Russ, take the shot
from 3.
Like, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to win a game like that? Even against the Thunder. It's not even a playoff game. You're playing against the Thunder. It's early, but they got a lot of things to figure out before we can consider them a title contender. I could name 5-10 teams in the West right now that are better than them.
And LeBron has to play with Russ. Like, these nights where he's out with injury does not help the team whatsoever, because they need to be on the floor together or figure it out. Like, this team would be better off if Westbrook came off the bench and played with the second unit, quite honestly, because then he could be freight train, turn the ball over, drive it, and find somebody, kick it out. But now they need to be on the floor together. And, trusting AD or even LeBron in the last number of years to be healthy is another big concern.
Yep. Every time AD goes up at the rim, just makes you want to throw up. He had a little ankle scare a couple nights ago, and the next play, Russ threw him a lob and made him reach for the ceiling.
Yeah.
Made him reach for the rafters right after he hurt his ankle. I was like, oh my God, that's one way to find out, see if your boy's healthy. But I would love to see them not make the playoffs, but I definitely wouldn't bet them not to make the playoffs. That's for certainty. I 6 seed.
6 seed. Okay. We'll go over your standings in a bit, because we'll go through it together.
Oh, I just pulled that out of the air, buddy.
I know, but I'll go through the teams, and I'll go through teams, and you can tell me where you see them finishing. We'll do that. We'll do that in a bit. The other team that's came into the second best odds to reach the final was the Brooklyn Nets. And obviously they are without Kyrie Irving. They're starting to play with just Harden and Durant. They got LaMarcus Aldridge back, went through a heart scare last year. He's back. They got old Paul Millsap. They got off to a shaky start, to say the least. Brooklyn, do you have more faith in Brooklyn to make it to a final, or LA?
That's really not even a question to me, but that's just because I put more in Kevin Durant than I would LeBron as of right now.
Right.
I just like watching Kevin Durant play basketball. It's like, okay, like this team's going to make the Eastern Conference final. We haven't even seen Kyrie play yet.
Is he going to play?
I believe he will. I mean, other countries around the world are doing fine without a fucking mandate. That's all I'm going to say. So whether or not we in North America continue the mandate, Australia, whatever, we see Novak Djokovic can't play in the Australian Open, the fourth major. I mean, the evidence is there. The mandate is very unnecessary. Whether or not Kyrie gets his shots, or whether or not the mandate's reversed once 90% of the population gets the vaccine, whatever. I don't really want to get into COVID. It's the most boring topic. It's been 2 fucking years. I don't care. I pray to everybody who fell to the virus. I'm sorry, and to their families, but fuck it. So that's all I got for you on that. I'm done. One thing I'll say on the Nets right now, for the gamblers out there, Kevin Durant rebounds. They're setting it at like 7.5, 8.5 every night. He's hitting it every fucking night. He's 5 for 6 on the rebound. Threes props. Patty Mills is 5 for 6. I think James Harden is also 5 for 6 or 4 for 6. So like these are just trends I'm trying to keep watch of, because I love hammering Nets props. There's just something about it. Like they just love scoring buckets. I think that the Nets are a great basketball team. I think we haven't seen their ceiling yet, and I think that that's the scariest part about the Nets.
Yeah, I'm with you with Kevin Durant. I mean, I think he's the best player in the world. I don't even think it's particularly that close right now, even though people
Curry,
when you hear that, because LeBron, lovers say that he's the
Curry,
best.
Jokic, Giannis, KD, top 4.
What I worry about, Harry, is Joe Harris, since the playoffs, hasn't been able to hit a barn for with a 3. He stinks. Blake Griffin, I don't love him playing center.
He's old.
I don't love him playing center.
He's old.
I think for them, I think one of their biggest weaknesses and potential problems is their center position. I think teams can play old school basketball and beat them that way. I think you saw Milwaukee do that opening night where Giannis you can't guard him. They have guys that can get to the paint. And if Blake Griffin's your biggest guy on the floor or Nicholas Claxton, I think that's a big problem. And, we could see teams that have some girth, have some, that are bigger teams really dominate them in that area.
Yeah, well, they beat the Sixers.
Yep. They did.
Is that the best big man in the league?
Jokic.
Yeah, okay, agreed. But best
he's right there.
Dominant
Best
big
in the
man.
East. Best in the
Dominant big man, right?
Yep.
So they beat the Sixers early. And obviously, these aren't 7-game series. It's just one game. I don't think – do they really care? No. Like, as long as they're getting to 60, 65 wins, they're going to be happy. Doesn't matter who they beat or who they lose to. It's just life. Sometimes you miss shots. Sometimes you make shots. It's fucking gambling, too. Like, yeah, it's just the regular season. But getting in a hole early doesn't help. And I would be absolutely flabbergasted if they didn't make a move at the deadline. I guarantee you that Blake Griffin and Nicholas Claxton, even though Claxton's shown a lot of improvement.
Yeah, he's a good player.
He's not a piece like right now for like if you want a chip, he's your centerman. He isn't. And KD shouldn't be put on that much pressure, which is why I'm loving the rebounds right now because he's the only guy who's allowed to go up there. Like Claxton's playing 10 minutes a game and Blake Griffin's too scared. He's getting bullied out of the paint. So I guarantee they will make a move. Brooklyn's a destination for people to want to go to.
Yep.
Anybody. So whoever wants the chip is going to go to Brooklyn and get the chip. I just
if they could get Jared Allen, that would be a great ad.
Yeah, like exactly. If the Warriors got Jared Allen or the Nets got Jared Allen or the Blazers got Jared, give Jared just show him some love. Get him out of Cleveland, man. Like give that boy a ring. No,
I think they will too because obviously Evan Mobley's their center of the future.
Yep, I could see that. I don't know. What did I see on Twitter the other night? All the Lakers fans making trades for Russ, for Sexton, and Kevin Love, like because the contracts work out. They're already 5 games into the season. They're already making trades.
Yeah.
Tough place to be. Okay, just for the salaries, so you can get Colin.
Right.
Yeah. Jared Allen, yeah, you picked the name right there. You put him on the Nets, you put him on the Warriors. Like either of those teams are going to finals.
Yeah. Plus, he's not like just traditional. He can block shots, but he can run the floor too. He's not like DeAndre Jordan in LA right now, where he looks like a long neck dinosaur that can't move. Slower. Yeah.
Very possibly slower.
Little foot out there.
Before time, brother.
Yeah, great. Watched a few dozen episodes of that in my day. The team that beat the Nets last night, the Heat. I kind of like the Heat. They obviously underperformed last year, getting demolished by Milwaukee in the playoffs, but they eventually won the championship. So go figure. But you had Kyle Lowry, Tyler. My hero has been playing pretty well so far this year.
There goes.
Yeah, you got Bam. I like the Heat. I think they can be a potential threat as well.
No, I think Jimmy Butler probably doesn't get enough credit for being a vocal centerpiece in any team that he's been a part of. I think the day that the Sixers got rid of him, they were very naive. I'm not sure is the word for it. I don't know. I really don't understand how the Sixers let that guy off their team.
Yeah.
And the Heat are very thankful for it. And I believe he's got a very tight-knit group. I believe they're all on the same page. Jimmy and Kyle look like they're best friends. Kyle looks like he's found new life, getting out of Toronto. He was the star in Toronto. Now he's in Miami. He's on the beach. Nobody's looking for him to do anything crazy. He goes out, plays great defense, takes 3 charges, drops eight points, gets 10 assists. That's all he needs.
And goes home.
And goes home. And nobody's like, he doesn't have to do 100 press conferences after the game. You're in Miami. Like, nobody really cares about basketball until it's the playoffs. And I do think like they have the shooters around them. Bam Adebayo's look very good this year.
PJ Tucker's a great ad too.
PJ Tucker, another great ad. Thanks for bringing that. 100%. The Bucks were very sad to let him go, and I do believe so. In the bubble, the Heat swept the Bucks, and then last year the Bucks were like, "All right, fuck right off all the way." I was all over that. I hammered the Bucks against the Heat that series every game because of that. And I think that we are in a position where if they were to meet each other in the first or second round again,
right,
it's not going to be a sweep either way. This one's going to 7, and this is going to be whoever makes it to the next round is going to be fucking banged up for the team to play, because that's going to be a hard 6 or 7 game series. And I like the Bucks and the Heat. We are just talking about the Heat right now, I guess. The Heat are a great team. Yeah, the Heat are a great team. I think they're all bought in on the same system. I think Pat Riley's a great GM. I think they're even in position where they can make like the world. The Heat is the world is the Heat's oyster. What's my brain saying?
I don't know.
They're in a position where they can make any move they want at the trade deadline if they're not happy with what they have in place to make a legitimate title run. And I do think that this is a very good chance for the Heat. And like Lowry, PJ Tucker, Bam coming back even stronger. Jimmy Butler, he wants a fucking ring, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like the Heat a lot this year coming out of the East, and that's going to be a shit show for the Nets, because it's like we watched it last night. I was all over the Heat plus 4.5. Thank you very much, odds makers.
Yeah.
Does it make sense? Giving me money.
Yeah. So let me just go through. Let's go through the East, and then we'll go through the West and where you see these teams finishing. Okay. I'll start at the bottom. Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's last.
Okay.
Or Detroit or Orlando, probably 2 last.
Okay, Orlando. They just gotta kind of hope Jalen Suggs can get better by the end of the year. That's probably their only hope this year.
I remember when Raptors fans were sad they didn't take fucking Jalen Suggs. That just shows how much Raptors fans understand about basketball.
Yeah, Scotty Barnes looks pretty good so far.
That's what I mean.
I worry about his shooting, but again, yeah. Let's jump up to Cleveland.
Cleveland's a complete wild card for me right now. Yeah. They're a complete wild card because they got the big man. So when they play small teams, they can really out-rebound the shit out of them. And if you get 10 more rebounds than the other team in the overall outcome of the game, that's 10 more shots. And 10 more shots is either, I'm going to say, because they're NBA players, between 8 and 20 more points.
Yep.
It adds up, man. And in an 82-game season, we've seen it against the Clippers last night. We've seen it. What are they, 3-2? So they're a good team. Colin Sexton looks really good. Darian, if Garland can stay healthy, he's nursing his ankle a little bit at the start of the year. If their team stays healthy and they can somehow keep the guys on their team, I don't know how the hell you can keep people in Cleveland. I mean, move the team. I'm sorry, but holy shit. If they can keep the guys on their team, I could see them sneaking in for 8 seed.
Yeah,
they're a wild card for sure.
Yeah.
Indiana, Sabonis. It's all on Sabonis. Miles Turner looks good, but he's still really slow. Does look really good this year. Malcolm Brogdon, great player. Sabonis is like probably one of the most elite power forwards in the league, hands down.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's a very fun player to watch. They laid an egg against the Raptors last night, so it's early season. It's tough to like really get a gist of what the teams have. I don't see the Pacers making the playoffs, but the East is going to be ridiculously tight. And the last, that's why winning games at the start of the season is going to be so important, because I think there's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 teams in that bubble between 5 and 11.
Right.
And they're all going to be like 3-4 games apart. And it's going to come down to the wire in the East, I think. It's going to be a lot of playoff games before the playoffs. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping for the same thing, because that's sometimes basketball can be really monotonous because you know who's gonna make it. And it's kind of boring. Yeah. The Wizards.
Yeah, the Wizards are out. Yeah, no. Bradley Beal's great. I love Bradley Beal. Davis Bertans.
Spencer Dinwiddie, your boy.
Dinwiddie, beauty. They're just the half Wizards. Rebuild. They're in the half rebuild, half we got Bradley Beal, and they're fucked right now. Yeah, they'll always be the Wizards.
Yeah.
They'll always be the Wizards.
I agree. The Boston Celtics.
Yeah, talk about another wild card.
Yeah, I think they could really miss the playoffs.
Well, like coming back to who needs a big man. The Boston fucking Celtics need a big man.
Yeah, they've needed one for like 5 years.
Yeah. And I mean, they let Tice go. I think they'd really like to have Tice right now. Mm-hmm. Really like to have him. Jason Tatum rebounds has been sitting at like 6.5 before games, and he's hit it 4 out of 5 times. So just saying, there's a little nugget for you guys. Jaylen Brown's a wild card. If Jaylen Brown's going off, then yeah, but like the Celtics have been forever as I've watched the Celtics. They've been such a good defensive team. Mm-hmm. And this year, at least, I don't know where the communication's gone wrong, but it's certainly not there. And Danny Ainge definitely he torpedoed the ship a little bit. I'll say that.
Yeah,
Jason Tatum is a great player. So
yeah. I just don't know if he's like an elite player.
What?
Elite players get teams to the next level.
If Tatum's not a elite player, that means Dame's not an elite player.
He hasn't gotten to a final.
Gotten the 2 WCFs against the hottest Splash Bros in history.
Well, did he win a game in either of those?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's his nightmares past, which is why this year's different, baby. But
all right, well, maybe beat the Nuggets in the first round this year without Jamal Murray, and then we'll chat again. But
best case scenario is we play the Lakers in the first round.
All right. The Raptors.
Raptors are out. But they look good. Freddie assists is sitting at like 6.5. He had 19 assists the other night.
Yeah,
I got the over at 5.5. It was the first quarter, and I'm just checking the box already. Like it sometimes it feels good when your brain's on another wavelength. But so Freddie looks real good. Scotty Barnes, we've seen him. He's kind of coming out of his shell. OG steals and blocks is a fun prop because the guy's just fucking everywhere on the court.
Yeah.
But they're just not deep enough. Precious is looking good. I will say that. Not looking terrible, but for the only team that we really get to watch on TV because of the streaming service problem right now,
right?
It's fucking cringe, man. Nobody wants to watch the Raptors. Sorry, Raptors fans. Like,
no,
goodness gracious. Nobody wants to watch you. Nobody wants to.
I don't want to watch them.
Nobody wants to.
No, Toronto media and Sportsnet and all those guys that get paid big money to cover one team, which kudos to you. I don't know how you get.
Also, still think Nick Nurse is a bitch. I mean, that was Kawhi. It was Kawhi.
Well, I want to ask you this, Harry, because I've had this opinion. I have people.
I always like Dwayne Casey.
So. Me too. Yell at me forever. Who do you think the best Raptor of all time is?
Oh, yeah, we had this convo last time. Lowry stayed longer, but Kawhi fucking won.
Right.
Kawhi won. He won the only chip. So
Lowry was there for a decade. They wouldn't squat when Kawhi wasn't there.
Yeah. So, I mean, but I think there's an easy top 5 podium to make. And I don't think to everybody, any topics like this, everything's subjective.
Absolutely.
Depending on what games you've watched and what held more in your heart at the time and like how old you were. Like everything's subjective. So like you got Vince, you got DeRozan, you got Kyle, you got Kawhi, and
Bosh.
number 5 to round it out is yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe T-Mac, but I'd probably say Bosh ahead of him.
Yeah, he just wasn't there long enough.
Yeah. Okay. Chicago. Undefeated Bulls. 4-0.
And it's the fucking weakest 4-0 I've ever seen in my life.
Beat the
I
Pistons.
I see it all over Twitter. Like the Bulls are 4-0. Like, yeah, they play the Knicks tonight.
Interesting.
If you're listening to the pod, bet the Knicks tonight. Okay. I like the Knicks. I think Chicago's fake. Mm-hmm. I think they're good. They have a great starting 5. They have one of the best starting 5s on paper. But after that, what do they have? And they needed to make a lot of trades to get Vucevic so that they could get Lonzo, so that they could get but they have no bench now.
Right.
So 82 games in a season. By the 50th game, you get one injury, that starting 5. You're looking in the back door of the Eastern Conference. But that's why it's so important. Like if they start 9-2, like it's really crucial to get a big lead here. But I think they're a good team. I think they're in the playoffs. I don't think they go deep. They
make the playoffs. That would be a big deal for the Bulls.
Yeah, I do think they'll make the playoffs this year. They'll squeak in the back. They might be a play-in team.
Yeah. The new play-in, they could definitely make it interesting there. So I think for us, we tell me if we disagree, but this is what I see as the lock playoff teams. We'll go from there. I think the Knicks are making the playoffs.
Yep.
Miami.
Guaranteed.
Atlanta.
Yep.
Milwaukee.
Yep.
Philly.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Absolutely.
So that's 6. I think Boston will be right there, but I don't think it's a lock this season. Like I said, I think Charlotte.
I think it's Charlotte and the Bulls are in a play-in, and Boston and
Toronto.
Who would they be playing in the? No, who's above them?
Indiana. Maybe Cleveland.
Yeah, okay, that's the team I was. Yeah. So those could be the 2 play-ins, depending how the season goes. Mm-hmm. You gotta think the Bulls and Charlotte. I think both of Michael's teams, probably.
Yeah.
Bulls and Charlotte. I don't see the Celtics making the playoffs this year. I don't. Yeah, I think Jason Tatum has to go for 40 in the playing games if they make it there.
Yeah, they lost to the Wizard last night. Yikes. So the West. We'll go through this. Golden State. Lock.
They're 4-0 right now. They don't even have Clay. So, I mean, as long as Steph doesn't get injured or Clay doesn't re-injure himself, I would say that they get in, yes, for sure.
Utah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're mad from last year. They're mad.
Portland, I'm not even going to ask it because I know.
Homer.
Denver.
Yep, absolutely.
Lakers.
Jamal's going to get back. Lakers, they could be a playing game, but I see them squeaking in at 6, maybe.
Phoenix.
Absolutely.
That's where it gets interesting.
Yeah, now it's tight. Memphis, Dallas? I think. No, Dallas doesn't make it.
Memphis.
Yes.
Okay. Clippers.
It's very possible that the Clippers aren't in this year. If how long for Kawhi? We got 3 months for him?
I've heard like
2
March.
months. Fucking see you later.
I think if he's out till March, I don't think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I can see them starting 10-20.
Yeah, I mean
the way they played last night. And did they fucking pump the Blazers by 30? Yeah, they did. Cheers to that. So I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't. They could be a play-in team, and they won't have home court advantage in that play-in.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Love's coming off the bench in Cleveland, 10 points, 10 boards last night.
Kevin Love double was probably like plus 1,600 for fuck's sake.
But yeah, just looking at the Clippers starting roster. I mean, Paul George, Batum was their leading scorer last night. Zubac, Reggie Jackson, Eric Bledsoe, who I have zero faith in.
Terrence Mann off the bench.
Luke Kennard. Again, they just don't have a very good roster, to be honest.
For them to win games, PG's got to put 35, 10, and 6.
He's got to be in the MVP discussion, I think, if they're going to be a real playoff team.
Yep. And I mean, losing Kawhi, you never want to see a team go down with their best player. You want to see all the players in action. You want to see everybody excel. You don't want to. We only get to watch these guys for so long, especially how fast the talent is getting better and better and better. Yeah. And as I said, the start of the year, you can see the disparity in teams is changing a lot because the talent level in between the stars and the rookies is diminishing. It's diminishing very, very much. And it's going to come very, it's just the future of the NBA looks really bright. And Clippers might not be in. Imagine if the Clippers and the Lakers didn't get in.
I think ESPN would just commit suicide.
Staples Center. Goodness gracious.
Stephen A. Smith would be like, where am I heading? Yeah, I'm not going there. I have to go to Portland? No, thanks.
Yeah.
That guy, you can hardly get him to talk about any other team than the Lakers. So good luck getting him to travel somewhere else.
Yeah.
First take, no take.
First take garbage.
Yeah, I don't listen to that show. Good news for you tonight, Harry. Sportsnet 1 this evening. This would be free programming. Pistons 76ers at 8:00.
Oh fuck yeah. That's a barn burner of a game.
It's actually a good game. Grizzlies Warriors tonight at 11.
Yeah. And that's going to be a really fun game. I'm going to be playing Curry rebounds. I'm going to be playing Curry assists. I'm going to be playing John Morant assists. I'm probably going to take the over in the game. I might take the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies lost last night. They were looking ahead to this game. They're looking ahead because they're thinking about losing to the Warriors last year to get. Oh, they beat the Warriors last year. Fucking hammer the Warriors tonight, boys. It's fucking Steph Curry. Curry rebounds, Curry assists. Don't even need to touch the game, actually, because just Curry rebounds, Curry assists is all you need. Be sitting around 5.5 or 6.5. That's going to be a really fun game tonight. Yeah, because it went to overtime last year, right?
Yeah.
I was fucking wasted watching that game, so I'm having trouble. But yeah, that game went to overtime. That was
the wire. John Morant made some big shots.
Yep. Really big shots. He had 40 and 10 that game. Yeah. So, and this is a coming out season for Ja. We seen it last year. He was slowly starting to sparkle at the end of the year. The kid's fucking nasty. And I mean, we haven't seen Zion this year. We haven't even talked about the Pelicans this podcast. Sorry, Brandon Ingram.
Well, another guy the Lakers should have kept. We got nobody else to talk about.
Jonas Valanciunas, brother, the double machine.
Yeah, that's helping the team win a lot.
But I think that was all in all, so far, not looking like the best trade for the Grizzlies. Jonas for Steven Adams. Not looking like. It doesn't look like an improvement. I mean, it seemed to me that there was more chemistry between Ja and Jonas last year, but we'll see how it plays out further into the season. I think the Grizzlies are a good team. I think John Morant is a star, and he's breaking out. And I think it looks like he's better than Zion right now in that draft class.
Yeah, that's one that they're going to look at that for a long time and think, should we have did this over?
Should have we taken the guy with the $400 million shoe deal before he left? Fucking
they got Sacramento tomorrow. That'll be just that game will be viewed by at least 2 people.
I like watching the Kings. The Kings are fun this year. And the Kings, fun fact, they have had the most buzzer beaters in the last 2 or 3 seasons. I believe they've had 7 buzzer beaters just by that.
Bully for them. Yeah, they got one last night.
Harrison Barnes. Great name.
Yeah.
Great guy.
They actually don't have a terrible team.
De'Aaron Fox assists and De'Aaron Fox points low has been fucking just bargains all here. Harrison Barnes. I don't know where this guy's shed of youth came from. I think he's like 35, 34. He's got to be up there.
Oh, it can't be that old.
I'm not gonna fact check myself.
I'm gonna fact check it right now.
I'll let you do it. So I'm not spewing garbage. I'm saying 33.
He might be 30.
I think he's 30.
You said 33. What is it? What's your guess?
Oh, I think he's 33. I think he's over 30.
He is. He's 29.
He's fucking fuck's sakes. All right. Well, I'm just spewing drivel on the To The Point podcast.
29.
Okay, so Harrison Barnes is 29. That means he's
an elder statesman.
He's approaching his prime right now. And by approaching, I mean, this is his prime. This is the best I've seen that man play. Mm-hmm. And if he can keep it up, I mean, I don't think the Kings can make the playoffs, but I think they can play in a play-in.
I think it's been like 19 years since they made the playoffs.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you one fucking person on that team, but Halliburton steals also another fun prop. Halliburton's been very fun to watch this year as well. But that's a team that can blow up by the deadline. Like the bubble teams, like the Cavs that are looking good, and the Kings. Right. They're not markets that can keep players. So like if a attractive team wants to make a trade, they're not gonna. Like Buddy Hield's not just gonna wait. Like he's gonna go try to get a ring tomorrow. Then
Marvin
wait 5
Bagley
years
for pennies on the dollar.
Marvin Bagley for pennies right now. I put him on my fantasy team. Talk about a stupid. I mean, I got Ben Simmons and Kyrie on my fantasy too.
I can see he's in last place.
There's 2 injury spots. Yeah, there's 2 injury spots. No, I'm 1-0. Not a big deal. We got some. The Kings are definitely a wild card, and they're an over team for sure. They love hitting the over.
So if you had to make a long shot bet, like say like Brooklyn's a heavy favorite, the Lakers are a heavy favorite right now. Somebody, not one of the big 2 or 3 teams odds to win the title. Who would you put your money on?
I mean, fuck. The Hawks.
What about Utah?
The Utah was the other team I was thinking of. Mm-hmm. But they haven't done anything. They've had the exact same team for like the last 3 years.
Right.
It comes down to, can the bench do it when Donovan Mitchell's not on fucking his 30-10 games, right? Can Jordan Clarkson come in and really fucking drop 25 in those crucial games? Tell me he still plays for the team. And
he does.
Out of my ass. Okay, thank fuck.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that the Jazz can get there. I think Rudy is still Defensive Player of the Year. Like it's not worth a long. I think there'd be better odds on saying that the Mavs will not make the playoffs, and I would rather bet on that.
Okay.
The Mavs aren't a deep team. All they have is Luka. They're just not deep. You can't go anywhere in this season of the NBA, I think, with just one player, especially when you can't play him 48 minutes every game, right?
Right. So. Yeah, Porzingis is not exactly reliable, to say the least.
They're counting down the days. I think there's 130 million on 3 years left in that contract. So
yeah, oof.
That's a tough fucking cap hit if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
Mark Cuban, get off Shark Tank, buddy. What are you doing?
Yeah, I like him on Shark Tank.
You shouldn't be giving financial advice if he's got 130 million Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, you look at their starting lineup. Like Doncic, obviously superstar, but Finney-Smith, Porzingis, Dwight Powell, good lord, and Tim Hardaway. Yeah, well,
and then Jalen Brunson.
No wonder we can't qualify for the Olympics. Tim Hardaway, I like, and Brunson's good off the bench, but it gets thin real quick.
It's bleak, and Boban hasn't been playing big minutes, and if Kristaps isn't going to play, and you know damn well Kristaps isn't going to the fucking paint anymore.
No.
Doncic rebounds, Doncic assists, Doncic point, Doncic triple double. Bet it every game of the year, and you will make a profit by the end of the year. Mm-hmm. And double should be a guarantee every night for him. every single night. There's nobody on it's just fucking Doncic. He's got to do everything.
Yeah, I don't see this team being a threat to win either. I mean, unless
but they're regarded as a good team. Like tonight, they're laying 8 points against the Spurs. I am fucking taking that plus.
I mean, the Spurs they should have beat the Lakers the other night. They blew it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that 8 points. That's heavy.
8 points. It's just Doncic. So
let's just get some. Do you have some of the lines tonight in front of you?
I can pull them up right now. So first off, we got Spurs +8.
Okay.
The Hawks are laying 2.5 against the Wizards. Love the Hawks. We don't need to talk about the Sixers Pistons game.
What's the line?
10.5 for Philly.
Do you think the Pistons to cover?
I would assume that the Pistons cover, but it's just because of like so far what I've seen in the season in like the tightness of teams.
Right.
Like
right.
any team that's laying 12, 13, 14 isn't covering the number right now. They just aren't. The Nuggets were laying 12.5 to the Cavs, like on the second game of the season.
Beat them.
And, like the Cavs went outright. They're laying 12.5 points. Like, and people are still hammering the favorites. So
what about
the Jazz
Knicks,
against the Rockets?
Knicks Bulls.
I like the Knicks. I told you I like the Knicks tonight.
Yeah.
I think it's just like this is the first test for the Bulls. And when you get your first test and it's not like a back and forth, like they want boom, quick, fast break basketball, the Knicks are going to completely shit on that idea of what Lonzo's just been running up and throwing lobs. There's none of that against the Knicks. They are they're a composed team. Tom Thibodeau's done a really great job. I like the Knicks a lot, and I like them tonight, and I like them as a team. They've gotten a lot deeper. And Julius Randle looks like he took the next step. Yeah, I like the Knicks, and I like the Knicks tonight. But I gotta say, Nikola Vucevic he's the man. Yeah. So if the Bulls win, Vuce has got to have 25 and 13.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because we have seen a lot of upsets early, and I think this time of year is the hardest to bet because, like I said, teams aren't at their top yet, so they're still waiting to see what they're going to be.
I like to normally focus player props rather than spreads, but yeah.
So we're here for. Also, want to talk a little bit here about NFL Week 8 starts tonight. Sportsmate Mula, you are the gambling expert. 63% the last 2 weeks. You heard it here first.
I'm on fire.
Yeah. So I wanted to get your take on this week's NFL. For tonight's game, I was so looking forward to it. Cardinals, Packers. That's one of the best games of the year. And then everybody's effing hurt. You got COVID with Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard. JJ Watt's out for the season, which is just a devastating loss for the Cardinals.
Huge. I don't know if people understand how big this is. Yeah. Everybody with the Cardinals future shitting themselves right now.
Yeah, they got Chandler Jones. He was playing such good football the last couple of weeks too. He's really starting to blossom there. And this is just what happens with JJ Watt. He gets hurt every damn year, which is unfortunate. But Cardinals are laying 6.5 tonight at home. This game tickle your fancy?
I mean, now that all the sports are back, I find myself really focusing on just like a few NBA props. So like when like Kevin Durant rebounds and stuff, but Jason Tatum rebounds, Harden threes, Patty Mills threes. Looking at the game with the boys out, you got to think that Aaron Jones, he's gonna fucking put one in tonight.
Right?
Like, how doesn't he? You got to think Robert Tonyan's going to get a couple extra looks. I could see Robert Tonyan TD coming for sure, or even just Aaron Rodgers maybe to run one in himself. That's looking a juicy, probably plus 420, plus 500 maybe. Under 1.5 yard touchdown should be a shoe in for this game. Do you take the over? I like the over. I'm going to say it's 53.5. 54.5. Just pulling it out of my ass.
Yeah, it's 50.5.
50.5. Yeah, I take the over. I like the under 1.5 yard touchdown.
Aaron Jones receiving yards 35.5. Over.
Yeah. Yeah, or even just even receptions if he's sitting at like a 2.5 or 3.5.
Right.
I'd rather play the receptions prop than the yards prop just in case like
Okay.
he gets a
Right.
couple behind he gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage one time or whatever. But
Here's a fun one. What do you think the Jets? How much do you think the Bengals are favored over the Jets this weekend?
geez, it's probably the most the Bengals have been favored in the last
30 years.
history of football.
Yeah.
Against the Jets,
Yeah.
17.
No, 10.5.
Oh, fuck it. Jesus.
Yeah.
But that's because Zach Wilson's out and they got
Mike
Flacco?
White.
Mike White's playing?
Yeah, Mike White's quarterback.
Gonna be honest, no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he's white.
Yeah, he is white.
Is he white?
He is white. Yeah.
I mean, I hate playing spreads in football, but if you don't think the Bengals are on every fucking money line teaser this weekend, you're on fucking nuts. Fuck, the Bengals look good. I love Joe Burrow. Jets defense looks good.
Didn't look good last week.
They didn't look good last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but they look good in general this year. They have looked good. Fuck. I hate playing spreads.
Yeah, but I know a team that you like to bet with the spread because you did this the last time. You told me that you would take them when they're up favored big. Dolphins at Bills. The Bills are favored by 14 at home. They played Houston. You told me you'd take them money line.
Oh yeah, and they fucking absolutely shit roasted on Houston.
Yeah,
I was like
40-0.
So, I mean, Dolphins big win last week. Yeah. Big loss last week. No, they lost by 2.
They lost by to the Falcons.
Last second kick. I'd say they cover. But I mean, fuck, that's just because I hate big spreads. Like I just fucking hate big spreads. It's Any Given Sunday. There's a movie about it. Tua doesn't look terrible. I mean, he has over the last 4 weeks that he's
actually played pretty good
one
football.
One of the best passer ratings of amongst quarterbacks. Yeah, like these are just games that you kind of need to stay away from. Michael Gesicki's been going off. So I've been giving out his receptions props every time Tua plays because he's Tua's right-hand man.
What about like betting on the Lions to finally win a game or betting them long shots?
Oh, the Lions are going to win one. The Lions are going to win one.
You think they're going to beat the Eagles this weekend? They could.
They could, but it's just such a tough spot because the Eagles the last 3 weeks have played like absolute dog shit.
Yep.
And they're not supposed to be a terrible team. And then they got rid of Zach Ertz. Jalen Hurts doesn't look like he's the answer. I think that what's his name? The Crier. He's my favorite coach. Should know his name right now.
Oh, Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell. I love that man. You want to talk about a football guy? That guy's a football guy. He's a foxhole guy.
Yeah.
You want him with you, man. You want wherever you are. If I'm stranded, if I'm drowning, if I'm drowning, I want Dan Campbell to come save me.
Right.
It's tough to think that the guys aren't going to get up for him. They held their own against the Rams last week for 3 quarters.
They covered.
Great teams win. Better teams cover.
Yeah.
But I can see the Lions winning. DeAndre Swift playing. Hawkinson has a good game. Jared Goff stays away from the INTs. I think that Philadelphia's secondary is a little banged up.
Yeah.
Again, like we've seen nothing from the Eagles. I know it seemed like every capper in the world was on the Eagles last weekend to cover the number, and they got smoked. Raiders won by.
Are you an Alvin Kamara fan in fantasy? See a guy like for receptions that you like to sprinkle?
I just take Kamara TD practically every fucking week. Yeah. He's one of the guys. Like I'll take Cooper Cup TD every week. I take Dalvin Cook or Madison, whoever's playing for the who's ever the running back for the Vikings. That's a fucking primetime game. We finally got a primetime game that we.
I thought you were a Saints fan.
Dude, the Saints and Seahawks with Geno Smith and Jameis.
Yeah,
primetime Jameis is the best. But that was a fucking sleep show.
That was one of the worst games.
I didn't watch a second of it.
I watched the whole damn thing because I'm that pathetic.
I didn't watch a second. I don't know what was on tonight. I think it was the last night of season pass or NBA, and I was watching NBA.
Yeah.
Soaking it in. And now, but if it was that or the Raptors, probably would have watched that game.
Oh yeah, I'm not watching Raptors. Bulls. That's not happening. How do you feel about your Saints against the Bucks this weekend?
The Saints are that team that show up and cover spreads when they're not supposed to. They fucking, what was it, week 2 or week 1? They absolutely shit on Green Bay.
Yep.
Green Bay was laying 4 or 5.5, and they came out and won 38-3, I want to say.
Yep.
Like, because of that.
I thought the Bucks are only a 5.5 point favorite. I thought it'd be bigger than that. Saints did not look.
Their D haven't been good. The Saints didn't look good, and it's on a short week. Is it in Tampa?
It's in New Orleans.
Probably take the over. In that game. Kamara's going to get a touchdown. Geez. I completely take back that over. Do not take the over. I like the New
Orleans defense. You know, they're good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. New Orleans defense is good. Tom Brady's off that whole 600th ball getting thrown into the stands debacle. That's hilarious. Boy, Mike Evans on a couple of fucking edibles before the game or something, man.
On something.
I don't know how you do that, but the Bucks are good. This is the time in the NFL season that it's the middle of the road. You back teams that need to fucking win.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, personally, I'm just playing player props. Like, there's no reason to think like the Bucks need to win this week. There's no reason to think that the Cardinals need to win this week. Like, there's going to be a lot of toss-up games because, I mean, I'm not an NFL's rigged guy, but the NFL, I've seen some shit through the past where my brain's like, that doesn't add up. So I think player props are strictly the only way that I'm going. Right. Especially on like Sundays midweek like this, and once we get closer to playoffs and teams need to win to get in, like that's when you back your boys. But
right,
yeah, I mean the Chiefs this week. How do you not take the Chiefs? Other than them, I don't know who else I'll be playing on the spread, but
right.
I'll definitely be fucking touching the Chiefs. And Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
And if it, oh yeah, they're laying 10.5. Fuck. Saquon out too. Excuse me. If you like the Chiefs, I would. This is the best price you're gonna get them at right now to win the Super Bowl. I think they make a move for the deadline. I think they fixed the defense a little bit. I think it's a long football season. They get an extra week. Mm-hmm. They haven't had their bye yet. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, certainly interesting.
This is the best price you'll get the Chiefs if you like the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed there. You can get all this information from Harri on Sports Make Moolah, Twitter, Instagram, IG Lives. I know you do that occasionally. Giving out
every once in a while.
Giving out knowledge. So check out Harri at Sports Make Moolah on those social media pages. But anything coming up for you, Harri, in the short term?
Got a giveaway this weekend. Nice Sports Make Moolah shirt.
Ooh.
Free 2-4 Alpine beer. So what I'm doing is on Sunday, after tonight's game, I'm going to add up all the points for every NFL game on Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to put the total on my story, and whoever wants a chance at the shirt and a case of beer tells me how many points they think in total will be scored on Sunday throughout all the games.
Wow.
I'm going to put up the over under total, whatever it's set up, like added up between all the teams. And judging by that number, you'll be able to pick whatever you want and whoever is closest. And I'm not going to let any repeats. So if somebody says 561, then another guy ends up saying that, I'm going to say, fucking pick again, buddy. Somebody beat you to it. Right. So whoever gets closest, they're going to get a free Sports Pack Moolah shirt. And they're going to get a nice 2-4 Alpine.
Nice.
And we'll see what happens. I mean, I haven't done a giveaway. I said if I got 20 more followers like a month ago, it took me this long to get them. But yeah, if you got anybody struggling in gambling or somebody who just bets every night and just wants a couple extra, like I'm not a genius. I like gambling and I put out my plays. I'm 63% last 2 weeks. If you just want a couple of pointers, maybe if fuck, my brain just fired.
Talk
maybe
to
if
you.
you're not, maybe if you're not exactly sure like what you're doing wrong, or just whatever. Like just my DMs are always open. Like I just want to chat and I just want to make money. So like you're betting what I'm betting on. I'm not trying to lose my money. So right. I'm not gonna be trying to lose yours. That's for fucking sure. You don't have to pay me. Everything's free right now. Right. I'm just trying to make a name for myself in the gambling business, trying moving forward.
No, I love it. Yeah, no. Listen to Harry because he's hitting them. Me and you are very similar in the fact that we're both trying to make a name for ourselves in this sports industry. You're obviously in the gambling sector, and me doing my talking hairdo thing here on my end. But always a pleasure to have you on the show, man. I know we'll do it again real soon, and we'll be in contact very soon.
We got to talk some hockey. It's been a little bit of a dark spread on hockey over the last 24 hours. Yeah. So it's nice that we got to stay away from it. Respect to Kyle Beach and everything he's been through. Fuck the Blackhawks organization right now. I think that's everybody's wavelength. I don't know how don't know how Quenville's coaching. Don't know how Shovel Dayhoff's my GM. But we'll keep it positive, and I'll be on for some hockey and some more football bets soon. I hope everybody listened to my NBA nuggets throughout the podcast, and everybody has a great weekend.
Absolutely. Everybody, you heard him. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll talk soon.